Hello, good evening from Wembley. We're all set to make the draw for the 4th round of the FA Cup with Budweiser. Good stuff. OK, some numbers for you all to look out for then. Manchester United, favourites, are number 3. Crawley Town making waves once again. They are number 5. Tottenham, number 8. Paolo Di Canio's Swindon are number 20. Everton, Dave, they are number 24. And Liverpool, Danny, are number 26. Sunderland, who've just gone through, are number 30. By the way, I must tell you, over 500,000 fans have already attended this weekend's FA Cup ties. We're heading for the highest average attendance for over 30 years. OK, off we go. Dave, you draw the home teams. Danny, the away. Just make sure that all those balls are out of the bag. And we're all set then for the draw for the 4th round of the FA Cup with Budweiser. All out, Dave. Off you go.
Number 13.
Number 13, Brighton and Hove Albion or Wrexham, one apiece. Replay at the racecourse on Tuesday week. The winners at home too?
Number 23.
Number 23, Newcastle United. Fantastic incentive then for the winners of Brighton and Wrexham. They get Newcastle at home in round 4.
25.
25 is Sheffield United. Well, they haven't left Bramall Lane in the FA Cup. Home wins over Oxford, Torquay and Salisbury. Another home tie then for the Blades against Danny.
Number 15.
Against Birmingham City or Wolves. Goalless draw in the West Midlands derby at St Andrews. They replay on Tuesday week at Molineux.
Number 2.
Number 2, Nottingham Forest or Leicester City. East Midlands rivals battle out a goalless draw at the City Ground. Try again at the Walker Stadium on Wednesday week, and I think I know who you're going to pull out here, Dan.
Number 20.
Number 20, Swindon Town. Get me Real Madrid, get me Barcelona, said Paolo Di Canio. They have a trip to Nottingham Forest or Leicester City.
Now to sport, and this weekend Swindon Town face Leicester City in the FA Cup.
Well, Alistair is here. Alistair, this should bring back a few memories to those people who've go back to the 90s.
Yeah, certainly will. Yeah, you've got a good memory as well. No Swindon Town fan is ever going to forget the playoff final in 1993 between these two clubs. Swindon won an absolute classic at Wembley Stadium. 4-3 to clinch a place in the Premier League. Glenn Hoddle there leading his side to victory. Well, both these clubs have fallen on harder times since, and there are currently 2 divisions between them. But Swindon caused the shock of the last round when they beat Premier League Wigan. And Jeff Twentyman has been to meet one of their star performers, Matt Ritchie, who's confident of creating more headlines.
Well, the gaffer always said about playing on the right, and I've always played on the left really, and said about playing on the right, and I've been enjoying it, and like you say, cutting inside and get your shots off. The lads have been getting on my back a little bit, saying I shoot too much, but no, if you don't shoot, you don't score, and I'll keep doing what I'm doing, and hopefully I'll keep going in the back of the net. But maybe at times I should pass it. But no, I'll keep doing what I'm doing, and hopefully I'll score more goals.
The gaffer, what's he like behind closed doors? We see this flamboyant man who wears his heart on his sleeve on the touchline. What's he like in the dressing rooms?
Yeah, he's brilliant. I can't speak highly enough of him, and I think I speak for all the lads in that respect. At the start, he was quite fiery in the changing room, and but I think he's calmed down quite a lot compared to at the start. His knowledge and his coaching is first class. I think all the lads obviously respect him and like the way he's doing things.
Last week you missed the penalty. He gave you a little kick up the backside on the way off. What was all that about?
Yeah, well, it gives me stick in training all the time about I'm rubbish at penalties, but no, I think he's having a laugh and a joke, and obviously I missed the one, but everyone misses them, don't they, at some point, so no, it's a bit disappointing, but I'll do better next time, hopefully.
Leicester away, you can beat them, can't you?
We've beat Wigan, we've beat Colchester, Huddersfield, so there's a lot of Bristol City as well. I think all teams above us, so we're going to it confident. They're a good team, and I think they've just picked up a little bit lately, but we'll give them a good game, I'm sure.
Well, tomorrow's a tough game, but I think Matt Ritchie and co will be in Sunday's draw for the 5th round. Cue more excitement. Jeff Twentyman, BBC, Points West.
And then there was one. Swindon are the sole FA Cup survivors from the southwest. Tomorrow, Paolo Di Canio and his League Two team are enjoying the club's best run in the competition. And tomorrow, they are up for causing another huge shock after beating Premier League Wigan in the last round. Paolo Di Canio still enjoys a kickabout once a week, a bit of five-a-side with friends and club colleagues. And the Italian still knows the way to goal, but he's moved on from playing now to managing, with some early success. In the FA Cup a fortnight ago, Di Canio truly arrived and announced that transformation to all. And now he's quietly confident of creating further ripples.
We're going to play freely in our brain, without, I don't want to say any pressure, negative pressure, because we know that there is another test, another chance for everybody to live and to improve and to achieve our limits. And then if we do our job properly, we can have another satisfaction.
Nothing is left to chance. Di Canio has overhauled his players' diets, dictating what, when and how they must eat together at lunchtime. It's working because they're leaner and hungry for more.
You want to have some?
Ritchie again.
To score against the Premier League team is really, it does give you a big confidence boost, and I enjoyed it. And as a team, I think it made us realise, we are a good team when we do the basics right, which is what the manager sort of drums into us. So no, we go to Leicester full of confidence.
Ritchie. Deflection goal! Beckford!
I don't personally agree that stories are meant to happen. You've got to make it happen yourselves, and we certainly did that in the third round. And again, it won't just happen for us on Saturday. We can't just turn up and it will happen. The magic of the FA Cup, you've got to make the magic happen yourself.
Leicester, 2 leagues above Swindon, are another giant undertaking. But Di Canio and his boys are ready to get stuck into the FA Cup once again.
In football, Swindon Town are preparing for their 4th round FA Cup tie with Leicester City this afternoon. The Wiltshire club are undefeated in 6 league and cup games and say they're confident of a win today. Over 3,500 fans have made the trip from Swindon to the King Power Stadium in the East Midlands.
Could there be more 4th round fireworks at the Walker Stadium as Leicester host Paolo Di Canio's Swindon? His touchline antics at Huddersfield last weekend saw him banished to the stands. But according to the Italian, it was all down to a clash of cultures.
I have a culture. I don't stop my culture. I speak with my body language sometimes. And even if I'm in England, the English people, English referee have to respect me.
Just lacks the passion, Di Canio, doesn't he? Our final score will have its collective fingers on the FA Cup pulse from 2:30 on BBC HD. A Holland and Claridge form the pundit axis with Lady Logan directing operations from on high. I love listening to Paolo Di Canio, but he did manage to guide Swindon past Wigan in the last round. Leicester this time out, and potential upset once again.
Yeah, I think that's probably one of them that stands out, that there's a potential upset. There's not that many. When you look down the list, you kind of see teams beating each other's, but I think that's one that sort of stands out. I love to watch him manage. I think, the passion that he gives on the sideline. Yeah, he steps over the line a little bit, but he's not hurt anybody. I think the important thing is that we have more characters like that in game. I'm all for him.
Yeah. Now then, League Two, Swindon were the giant-killing heroes in the 3rd round, beating Wigan. So will Paolo Di Canio be running onto the pitch in wild celebration again today. Slightly eccentric as a player, not too surprisingly. He's also slightly eccentric as a manager. But there seems to be method in his madness, as Bianca Westwood reports.
Despite an iffy start, Paolo Di Canio's Swindon Town are now on a run of 22 games with only 1 defeat. They have the best defence in League Two and they're just 3 points off the leaders Southend United. As far as the players are concerned, it's just a matter of time before they reach the top.
We've shown over the course of many games this year that we're good enough to be up there, and continually Gaffer still drills the same things into us, the same simple basic things, and gets us doing that way. And when we do the basics right, we seem to produce some very good performances. So I think when we get in there, we're going to stay in there for the long run and hopefully get automatic promotion.
When he first came in, the boys probably weren't getting what he wanted us to do. It took a while. We started slowly, but I think we've all came together now and we're all getting on really well. So we're starting to do the things that he wants us to do, and it seems to be paying off.
So what does he want you to do? What was he wanting you to do at the beginning that you weren't quite getting, do you think?
Win. Just win. Win every game.
No, I think it takes a new team as well. I think not a lot of the boys had played in the English leagues and didn't know how hard it would be. But they're starting to get used to it now, and as you can see by our long run, we're on fire.
You are on fire. He gets you working hard, doesn't he?
As we say, we're in every day, Monday to Friday we're in, and then some Sundays as well, so it's hard work, but as I say, it seems to be paying off, so no complaints.
You all complain about it, or you're all right with it? Be honest.
It's different. There's a few complaints and a bit of moaning, but we've soon realised that it's doing us the world of good, so we're getting better. So if you're getting better as a player, you know, you can only sort of say thanks for doing it and just to get on with it and accept it.
What exactly? What's been improving the most? Is it your fitness where he's working? Oh, thank you.
We all know Di Canio has previous with referees. Now as a manager, he's on his 3rd red card of the season. It doesn't look like he's going to change anytime soon.
Send me off every game, no problem. I will win this league anyway because my team is a strong team. They're warriors. We play football. Even if they send me off, we win this league, no problem.
Last Saturday, I thought he was harshly done by, really. I don't think he'd done much wrong, but I've been taken off by then, and so again, so no, he didn't swear from what I heard, and he was just saying it was a foul. So I was surprised to see him sent off. I thought it was harsh.
How does he tell you to react to the referee?
He says, I'll do it all.
Yeah?
He says, leave it to me, I'll argue, I'll fight your corner, you just don't say it. He will stand up for you no matter what, even if you're wrong. He'll go out to the media and tell them you are right and that it was fine, but come close behind closed doors, he'll come down hard on you, he'll batter you. He's not afraid to do that.
So he does get the hairdryer out then. Is he a bit, not intimidating, but can you get
exactly what
he is?
He is exactly what he is intimidating. Because he's quiet and he come into your face and he come into your little personal space and you're sort of, and because you know what he's done in the past, you sort of know that he's got a hot temper, and everyone knows he's a hot temper. He's a very passionate man.
As you can see by his reaction to the last-minute winner at Northampton.
I just couldn't believe what I was seeing when I see the gaffer was like in amongst all the boys.
He was looking across to me, and honestly, I was just looking at him, and he was like that. What, he's going to slip it on us or something?
I think he slapped Rafa or slapped Flinty or something like that as the group huddle came in. He's grabbed him and he shook them and slapped them.
Yeah.
He's been on. He likes to have a forceful hand before games. He'll try to get you jeered up. It's a little slap to him, but it's quite hurtful.
Does it hurt?
Yeah, it stings.
Has he still got a bit in training? Does he show you all up with his...
No, he's much better than us. I've said before, like, he does a drill, like a demonstration, and he's amazing at it, then we go and do it next to him, we're kicking balls all over the place, do you know what I mean? So it's a bit embarrassing.
Simon Ferry may not be as good as the gaffer in training, but he's confident he's got it going on in the style stakes. Listen up, Jeff.
Jeff still just needs to get the razors on the side.
Right, okay.
He's the razor up to here, just.
He's got not bad hair for his age.
That's what I'm saying, he looks alright.
He's getting on, isn't he? Yeah?
Okay, I can go for it.
Yeah.
There you go, Jeff. We're going to get you some gel. See if you can do a Cy Ferry.
Because you got Phil Thompson's nose.
Oh, sorry. I thought it was all about me. Anyway, I don't need gel. I've got a Tiggy stick. You probably don't understand what one of those is, but nevertheless, if I had my hair like Simon Ferry, we'd look like Jed would, wouldn't we?
Jed, not half. Not half. That's just the nose stakes, all right?
Yeah. Obviously, they've got a lot of team spirit there. By the way, there's a big feature in one of the papers this week on Paolo Di Canio. I think it was the Daily Mail. Some great quotes from him. He said, I love Swindon. It's not a place where you can smell history like Florence or Rome. Say that again. He said, doping in English... Oh, Swindon's great. Swindon's got some fantastic roundabouts. That's all I would say. OK, fantastic. He also says, he said, doping in English football is restricted to lager and baked beans with sausages. And he's talking about the referee Paul Alcock and that infamous push. And he says, I still can't believe how he went down like a drunken clown. He also says, I am calm, more mature and really happy. There speaks the man who's been sent off 3 times this season and charged by the FA twice this month. Calm and mature.
He's brilliant.
Off to the King Power Stadium next. Leicester City against Swindon. Here's an explosive personality. Always got plenty to say for himself. No, I refer not to Paolo Di Canio, but Alan McInally.
Afternoon, Jeff. Yeah, you're absolutely right. I spoke to him. He's in great form. He really is. I was saying to him, please don't get sent to stand today. He says, no, I'm not. Everything will be all right today. Looking forward to the game. A lot of people thinking they might just turn them over. Completely different type of person. You think of Nigel Pearson, quite contained, quite quiet, big Nige. But he expects a lot from his team today. He likes Nugent, Gallagher, Johnson, Ledger, Richie Wellens look good on paper. Leicester just favourites, but that never happens just the way you want it in the FA Cup. 0-0 very early on, Jeff.
Goal to tell you about the King Power Stadium. Leicester against Swindon. Will Paolo Di Canio be smiling or not? Alan McAnally.
He'll be absolutely raging because the marking in the box was atrocious. It come from a corner for Leicester City, Jeff. And big Matt Mills at the back post. Lovely little dink in. And Jermaine Beckford's all on his own. Can't give him that much space. And a beautiful half-volley finish into the corner. 1-0 Leicester City.
Leicester City taking the lead, the Championship side against the League Two team. Leading Swindon of League Two by a 0-0. That goal coming from Jermaine Beckford, who loves playing the FA Cup. He scored 13 goals in his last 14 FA Cup games. But what sort of response have we seen from Swindon? Alan McAnally.
None, Jeff, none. They're really struggling. I think St Ledger and Matt Mills, the main two at the back for Leicester, have had no problem really from Alan Connell and from Paul Benson, of course, scored the only goal against Wigan to take them into this round. On the other hand, Beckford's come up nearly with another one. Great save from Wesley Foderingham on the other side, but the referee had adjudged he used his arm. When I saw the replay, he did, but nevertheless Foderingham made a great save, but not anything as much as I thought that Swindon might get the ball down and pass it and keep it. Can't do it. That's all Leicester City, 1-0.
Let's go and find out what's happening in the end between Leicester and Swindon then, shall we? Leicester leading thanks to that Jermaine Beckford goal. Are Leicester showing their class, would you say, Alan McAnally?
Well, they certainly were. The first 15 minutes, Jeff, you looked as if they were a couple of divisions apart, but to be fair to Swindon, they've weathered that storm and started all those unforced errors. They've been eradicated. Keep ball's been good. Matt Rich on the right-hand side looks very good, and one brilliant free kick. Oliver Rissa with the header, Jeff. He must have thought he'd scored. He just helped it on with the pace, and Kasper Schmeichel made an absolutely magnificent save to make sure that Leicester keep their noses in front, but certainly Swindon much more up to the task now. But Leicester do lead through that Jermaine Beckford goal after 4 minutes. 1-0.
Let's go see if there's any change in the pattern of the game at the King Power Stadium. Leicester scoring early on through Jermaine Beckford with his terrific FA Cup goal-scoring record against Swindon Town side, who score plenty of goals, certainly their own level in League Two. What's the latest, Alan McAnally?
Well, they should have added to that in the FA Cup, Jeff, because Matt Ritchie should have scored. Lovely ball from Chibokhi from the left-hand side. Paul Connell probably thought he could have scored, and it dropped back right on the 6-yard box, and somehow Konchesky, lunging tackle, gets a toe to this, Jeff, to send over the bar. Ritchie almost must have thought he'd scored. Di Canio couldn't believe it. Probably going to be 1-0 at half-time for Leicester.
And there's another goal to tell you about at the King Power Stadium. Alan McAnally.
Yes, Jeff, it's 2-0 and Beckford's grabbed his second of the game. It was good play. I thought you were going to come to you a minute ago. I was going to tell you that we've played 52 minutes and neither goalkeepers touched the ball. Well, they still haven't, but Leicester are 2-0 up. Lovely little ball to Gallagher. Drilled it across. Paul Caddis tried to clear it, Jeff. He didn't do it properly. Dropped to Beckford, and from just about the penalty spot, no problem. 2-0 Leicester.
Swindon's cup run is over because they couldn't take their chances at the King Power Stadium, but it's not surprising that Leicester's striker took theirs, because in the cup, Jermaine Beckford can't miss. He followed his hat-trick against Forest in the last round with the early settler here, and then made it 14 goals in his last 16 cup ties. Leicester will hope for more at Norwich in round 5.
And the West Country's involvement in this year's FA Cup is over after Swindon, our last remaining side, were knocked out by Leicester. But Paolo Di Canio's team were unfortunate not to beat their Championship opponents, some 39 places above them in the Football League. Swindon ran out as the lowest-ranked side left in the FA Cup. But after their heroics in the third round, knocking out Premier League Wigan, there was just cause for optimism amongst a sizable travelling support. And with the most maverick of managers in their corner, anything was possible. But 5 minutes in, the worst possible start.
Konchesky back in, Mills has stayed forward. He's back with Mills once again. And Beckford!
And Swindon were left to rue missed chances of their own.
Alan Connell up against Mills. Connell went for goal. Chibokhi with the low ball. Chance here. It's broken for Ritchie. Up steps Chibokhi. It's a great try.
And in the second half, Leicester were ruthless, where Swindon had been wasteful.
And Beckford again. 2-0.
The lads did very well until today. They bring a new atmosphere around the city because they play with the heart, they play with desire. They are really professional, and they deserve to have this number of fans behind them. So I'm very happy. I'm proud about my players and the fans, obviously.
Football now, and Swindon have been knocked out of the FA Cup, but Cheltenham are now top of League Two. With our football roundup, here's Catherine Powell.
Swindon Town's FA Cup adventure is over. They lost 2-0 at Championship side Leicester yesterday in the fourth round, with Jermaine Beckford scoring both goals.